What's going on, guys? Shonen Express here, coming to you with another weekly Shonen Jump newsletter. So I'm super excited to talk about this week because there were, some cool things in it. So let's just jump right into it. So first of all, Jujutsu Kaisen got the cover this week. I think that's super fitting because as it is almost Halloween, it's spooky season, Jujutsu Kaisen being one of the more spookier series running in Shonen Jump right now. I thought it was fitting. Also, if you look at the cover, it is like a Halloween kind of inspired thing with the characters of Jujutsu Kaisen. So I thought it was really cool. I like the cover. I like the color spread. I feel like that's referencing something from that like Volume 0 that like I haven't read. With Toto, I'm not sure. If you guys know, let me know down in the comments. But either way, color spread was cool. The chapter was insane. It was like, Toto fighting is so cool. I love Toto so much. He's so cool. I love seeing him fight. I love seeing him finally using his swapping curse technique to fight. I think this is the first time that we've seen him actively use it in battle. Other than Hanami, like way back when. So this was super cool. And also, I loved seeing Itadori get back in the fight. I loved seeing that. Also, we learned that it's totally possible that Kugisaki will survive this. She won't die. So I'm super excited about that. I think she will survive. There's a possibility she'll die, but she's in a suspended state right now. So we will see. So either way, interesting take. Going on in Jujutsu Kaisen. It was an amazing chapter for sure. As far as anything new, nothing new in the magazine this week, all just the ones that we've seen, and nothing ended in the magazine this week, so nothing has come to an end. But we did have a series on break this week. My Hero Academia was on break this week. Horikoshi definitely deserves it. He's been pumping out some amazing chapters recently, so please take the time that you need, Horikoshi, and come back, give us some more My Hero Academia that's as great as you've been pumping out so far. So, that was on break. As far as specials going on this week, we didn't have any one-shots in the magazine, but we did have a double chapter release from High School Family. High School Family, I'm not a super huge fan of, but since there were 2 chapters released, it tells me that, okay, so at least in Japan, High School Family's got decent popularity. It's got something going for it. Which is good. I'm glad that it has, a decent following. But the first chapter, chapter 9, was okay. I didn't really love it. The second chapter was pretty funny. I actually laughed several times. I like the stuff with the dad trying to do math, and he can't do quadratic functions and stuff like that, but is a pro at Excel spreadsheets. So, it was funny. But yeah, so 2 chapters this week. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into my top and bottom 3. So I'm actually going to start at the bottom this week. I usually start at the top, but I think it'll be better if we go up rather than down. So my number 3 worst manga this week is Chainsaw Man. This is not because I dislike the action or anything. This is just super personal opinion for me. I like the character Power, and I really, really want to see her with Denji. I want to see that relationship come to its climax. I thought it was so sweet how Denji took care of Power when she had her breakdown after all those events with the Darkness Devil and all that. I really wanted to see her come around and return the favor, and I thought she was going to get the opportunity to that, but it looks like she just turned on him at the end, and that just it just doesn't sit well with me. And so I know that that's super personal and all that, and it is consistent that she would turn on Denji for her character. I'm not saying it's inconsistent. I'm just saying I don't like it, and I don't want it to go that way. So I didn't like this chapter, but so moving on to number 2. Agravity Boys. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. I'm not a huge Agravity Boy fan, but this week with the nipple haikus, I just wasn't feeling it. It was an okay chapter, but it wasn't that funny. So it ended up at the bottom here. But my number 1 worst manga this week is Undead Unluck. And the reason I say that is because I've come to expect a lot out of Undead Unluck, right? And this week just did not deliver on that. This writing a manga thing, I was so bored for this chapter, which is something I haven't said about on Undead Unluck for a long time. But I was just genuinely not into this chapter. I didn't love it. So that's why it ends up at the bottom of the list this week. But I do have high hopes for Undead Unluck. I'm sure it will bounce back, but as for this week, just ends up on the bottom. So let's get to the top 3. Number 3, top manga this week, Dr. Stone. I loved seeing the stuff with Senku and Zeno working together to figure out the exact coordinates of where the petrification beam came from. That was super cool. It's just cool to see like the science stuff go on. I like that they had this little like how to create giant bubble mixture on the side. Like you could really do that at home. That was really interesting, and so it was a good chapter. I really liked this chapter and everything that went on. So yeah, number 3. Number 2 this week, One Piece. Now this is debatable. Definitely could have been number 1, but it's my number 2 this week, and we'll see why later. But One Piece was an amazing chapter. I love the stuff about the Fire Festival with the citizens of Wano in the beginning. That was so good to see. I think it's a great setup. I love the stuff with Sanji and Jinbei trying to like get Luffy to save his energy for Kaido. That was really cool. But most of all, the biggest thing this chapter is back to Kaido's fight with the Scabbards. And Kaido just saying, you are no match. There needs to, there will never be a samurai of his caliber again. Which makes me almost think that Zoro is going to have a bigger part in fighting Kaido than I thought he was going to have. But that's probably a discussion for another day. It's probably actually a discussion for someone else because I don't really have a theory on that. But I'm sure someone out there in the One Piece YouTube community has a theory and has had it out for a while. But either way, his attack, like the slicing breath thing was really cool. I liked seeing that. And when he did that and sliced off, it looks like Kiku's arm. So, I mean, that's huge. This is where the Scabbards begin to fall apart, I think, and this is where our story will take a bit of a nosedive as Kaido comes out on top of the Scabbards. I'm feeling like that's what's going to happen here for sure. But it is really interesting to see. It was a really cool chapter. I just love this stuff with Kaido. It's getting so cool with Kaido and the Scabbards and all of that. So, yeah, really great chapter. Number 2 this week. But number 1 this week, my favorite manga this week was Black Clover. And I think Black Clover absolutely deserves this title. No questions. The reason I say this is because this chapter was like the culmination of everything that this manga has been up until this time. As a long-time week-to-week Black Clover reader, I've rode with this series for a while now. And I just, like, this is perfect. It was Asta using that physical might that he has been cultivating all of his life. He's down an arm, just has, like, a normal sword, and he's fighting this devil perfectly well, and he's actually winning. This is a great showcase of who Asta is, and it's a great showcase of what Black Clover is. It's the story, this underdog story that really hits you in the heart, and so I really liked seeing that this week. But yeah, Black Clover, number 1. This is a great chapter, for sure. Some honorable mentions this week, too. Akashi Triangle, Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin, Mission Yozakura Family, Our Blood Oath, and Phantom Seer were all really cool chapters. All of them set up something for the future of their series that I'm really looking forward to. I won't get into all of it right here, because they didn't make my top or bottom 3. But they all did set up some interesting stuff, and they all were cooler than they normally are. So I wanted to give out props for that. I also wanted to mention Moriking because they did a literal panel for panel recreation of the moment that Goku buries Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z. And so if you're not familiar with that, go back, read Dragon Ball, read all of Dragon Ball. But if you can't do that, at least read Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, so Goku buries Vegeta, it's this super serious moment, and we saw Moriking do it to Oki this week. And so that was pretty funny. As a longtime Shonen fan in general, I saw that and it made me laugh. And so I like references like that, and this was just another reference, so I thought that was cool. But moving on to news that we have this week. So the Infinity Train movie, the Demon Slayer Infinity Train movie, that's coming out pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. I'm sure it will be phenomenal. The anime for Demon Slayer was already incredible. It's what actually got me into the series in the first place. So I'm sure that I'll like that movie. I'm sure it'll be a great movie. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Also, there is apparently a contest going on for a High School Family. This goes again to my high School Family is more popular in Japan than I think it is. But there's a contest going on to submit your like high school stories to them, and like they'll send you like a color spread of the characters or something. So I saw that this week, and I kind of made me laugh, but it made me think, oh, this manga is super popular, much more popular than I thought it was. So interesting news. But that's all I got for news. In fact, that's all I have for you this week. Thanks so much for listening. If you have anything you want to say, please leave it down in the comment section. If you disagree, if you agree, I'd love to hear you. Like this video, subscribe to my channel because I bring you videos like this every single week. I'm also working on a Return to Sender video that hopefully will come out later this week too, so definitely look forward to that and be on the lookout for it. But yeah, thanks so much for listening, and until next time, this is Shonen Express, signing off.